Do you find responsibilities in work, family, and health too overwhelming to handle? Welcome to Health, Wealth, and Relationships, Thriving in the Balancing Act. Join physical therapist and relationship consultant Dr. Gina Williams in building stronger connections, advancing your career, and elevating your overall well-being. Here you'll find practical tips, inspiring stories, and actionable strategies for living a more fulfilling and meaningful life.
Hello, and welcome to the podcast, everyone. I am Dr. Gina Williams, owner of Mobility Health Physical Therapy, a physical therapy practice based in Midtown Manhattan, New York. If you live in Manhattan, Brooklyn, or Queens, we can also come to your home. In today's podcast, Health, Wealth, and Relationships, Thriving in the Balancing Act, we have Dr. Brigitte Bojkowszky. Dr. Brigitte is a visionary, brand identity strategist, and business educator with decades of global experience in crafting transformative and impactful brand identities. She specializes in holistic branding, reshaping corporate brands, aligning cultures with values, and defining entrepreneur and leadership identities. From her early career as a flight attendant to corporate leadership, academia, and ultimately entrepreneurship, Dr. Brigitte brings a wealth of experience and a proven track record of success. Her unique journey fuels her ability to connect deeply with her clients, helping them uncover their unique brilliance and step into their full potential with confidence and clarity. Dedicated to serving a higher purpose, Dr. Brigitte is passionate about empowering corporations and individuals to see their own greatness and embrace it. Through her work, she inspires her clients to align their inner values and their outward expressions, fostering authentic, impactful brands that leaves a lasting impression. Thank you so much for coming to the show, Dr. Brigitte. I'm so happy to have you here. You have a lot of helpful tips and exciting things about your journey that would be so helpful to a lot of our listeners. And if anyone's listening here, you can find this podcast, Health, Wealth, and Relationships, Thriving in the Balancing Act, at mobilityhealthpt.com or wherever you find your podcast.
Hello, Dr. Gina. Thank you so much for having me today on your show.
Yes, so Dr. Brigitte, your career and your journey is remarkable. From a flight attendant to a brand strategist, how did these diverse experiences shape your approach in your holistic branding?
Okay, so do you want to have the short version or the long version?
Just the in-between version.
It's every chapter, every part of my life contributed to what I'm doing now. I'm a brand identity strategist, and here I want to talk a little bit about what branding means to me, because I think there are different perceptions and meanings out there. Everyone usually, when you drop branding as a word, as a term, people think about logos, people think about taglines, people think about company names or names in general. It is that, but there is so much more. It goes beyond that. So branding is not just about logos, colors, catchy slogans. It's about identity. It's the unique story, the message, the value you project to the world. Whether you are an individual or you are a business, your brand communicates who you are, what you stand for, and why people should choose you. This is, for me, branding. It's about how you present yourself to the world. And now what I do is I help people, empower people to discover, define, embrace their authentic brilliance, their greatness they have within them. And so whether this is a personal brand, as a person is just in general, but also maybe as a professional brand, so in whatever capacity or role you are in your professional life, but also the business brand. So you see here there is different layers of branding, because branding or an identity is a concept. It can be a company, corporate brand, organizational brand, you name it. It can be a person. It can be an experience. It can be services, products. Everything can be branded and everything has an identity. And Yeah, and I help them translate that in a powerful presence, whether for themselves or their business. That's what I'm doing. And I'm also focusing on a specific audience, on individuals like me. They felt invisible at some point in their life, despite their expertise, despite their potential. And I think you know what I'm talking about. You have come across people like that, right? They
Oh,
are experts, but they feel like they're not good enough or they're not seen. So I want to help them step into their power, owning that and putting themselves out there. So it's
wow.
and so I feel like it's kind of a legacy. It's something that I need to do. I'm passionate about doing because I know exactly how it feels like to be that kind of a person. So
Wow. So, yes, you really are helping people get seen and finding the uniqueness of their brand to help them resonate with others.
yeah. So my mission is to empower them to reclaim their light. Build the brands that radiate their authenticity, their greatness, and their impact. So they are able to make that specific impact. You cannot make an impact if you don't know who you are and what you really want to achieve, right? So that takes this introspection. We are so outer focused. We always want to, go with the latest trends and get the validations out there. First is the look inside. So
So
it's
tell me, with that introspection, how do you get the individual to look inward if they're not used to doing that? How do you help bring that out of them?
that's hard at the beginning because you need to set back. You need to take the time because that demands time. It's nothing that happens overnight. It's the look inside, being introspective is about really figuring out who you truly are. There is layers of identities or of truths that you think is true for you, but it's not. You kind of cover yourself with all the different roles that you play and with how you have to perform and how you have to be seen and how whatever. Yeah. So that needs to be kind of put aside. You dig deep, you excavate to the core that you really are. And that takes time and effort and is not easy sometimes because you need to ask these critical questions. Who am I? And I'm here to guide my people through that process. And
Uh,
it's also finding the identity of who you are as an organization or as a business. I coach executives, respectively business owners, that want to define their identity or reshape, refocus, because change is a constant, right? And what is true for now might not be true anymore in that regard in the future because the environment is changing, the industry is changing, you are changing, your company services are changing. So you evolve over time. And with this evolving over time, you see that an identity is also a living thing because it's shaped by you, by your actions, behaviors, attitudes, how you put yourself out there. And this demands awareness. And if you have the awareness of who you are, then you can act accordingly. And so an identity is something that you put out. And that's what you put out kind of resonates somewhere with an audience. And they, with their thoughts and feelings, create an image about you. So this identity is reflected by an image in the market, by what the audience thinks and feels about you. That's the image. And you
that's
want to,
remarkable. Yes.
and so you need to be aware and you should have under control what you are sending out because you need to be intentional. You need to know what you stand for so that you can speak to the audience.
Yes, that's true. So let's tease that out a little bit. Branding can be intangible, especially for some who don't have an actual product. Can you share one of your favorite success stories where branding transformed the business for an individual?
Yes, I mean, it's usually for those who are not having a business yet, but embarking on that journey. It's figuring out what my brand should be like. They have an overall idea about maybe what they want to go into. It's about maybe something that there is a craft involved, creating something, a product, but also offering a service. So I guide them there. And I have created, based on my 25 years of being in academia, you work with models, you know that, right? So you have these scientifically proven models, and then you have real life, because I was also in corporate. Bringing both together is beautiful, because you're not just talking from an expert perspective as an academic, just teaching, but I've already worked. And I know what it is in real life, working in an industry for a company. Those are two different concepts. But bringing that together, I understand those people that have been in corporate and are there, but I also understand there needs to be more than that. There is some frameworks that act like guardrails, that guide us, that give us a structure. There is something out there that I can rely on and build my foundation on. So there is this 3-step branding blueprint for entrepreneurial branding for these who embark into entrepreneurship. And this is something exciting, and I'm so passionate about it, because it's a transition. I think you learn so much about it. I've never learned so much about myself while being an entrepreneur. And I have done a lot, from flight attendant to corporate to professor to this and that. So I did it all pretty much. But that is so special, because through all these trenches, to these ups and downs, and the struggle, and then the survival in the trenches, you don't know, will I be able to do that? Will I run out of money? Where is the next client coming from? Am I doing the right thing? Am I good enough? You're asking all these kind of questions. So at the beginning, you need to get into a business owner's mindset. So the first pillar is mindset shift. From someone who was an employee to someone who becomes an employer or a business owner. You are owning, you are giving the direction. You are the one who is steering the ship, basically. And that means you need to know where you're going towards. What is your vision? What do you want to achieve at the end of the day? What is the legacy you leave behind? What is the overall thing? Like, make brands shine. This is the overall thing. For someone else, it's like a world without food waste. This is the future. And then the mission, what are you doing? How do you get there? What is your mission statement? Yeah. Also, what is your higher purpose at the end of the day? The big why. Why are you doing what you are doing?
That's an important one.
The values that you live by. The values that help you make the so-called right decisions. Yeah, in that point of time. In retrospect, we learn and we could say, I should have done this. Yeah, but everything happens at the right time for the right reason and specifically for you. So the values is something that you live by and you breathe every day. What are your 3 to 5 core values? If you have that in place, then you're fine. Because if you don't know what is my next decision, what is my next step, visit your core values, go in introspection. Does this feel right? Is this something that I can own? Or is it just a trend I want to jump on and is not really the right thing for me? Just check back. It's like a checklist, right?
Yeah. So speaking of that checklist, can you tell us any common mistakes that some people, when trying to craft their brand, can make, and how to avoid them?
Yeah, so this is really a good question, because the common mistake is usually that people are starting from the end. The mistake is that they think about the logo, the name first, and the colors, and they start with a website. But what is that? It's just an expression of what? What do you base it on? Where is the fundament? So you need to know first, your vision, mission, values, and also then your limiting beliefs, and then building your personal brand and as a solopreneur, because you are the face of your company, and then build your company brand around it or based on that.
It makes sense. Could you tell us, Dr. Brigitte, a little bit about your company name, Brigitte Brands, and how you came about that brand?
It was a journey as well because I'm an Austrian, I'm from Europe, and we speak German in Austria. So my name is actually Brigitte, but it's a German Swedish name. In French, it's Brigitte, and in English, it's Brigitte. And since I'm a global person, I have worked globally all of my life. I went by Brigitte because Brigitte, everyone understands pretty much. And then since this coming from this global world, from the field of global strategic management and marketing, and then narrowing it down to branding, where there is my core, I thought Brigitte brands, it's like Brigitte is branding, Brigitte does, or Brigitte brands others. And also that within my company, I also have a sub brand. It's Brands Talk. It's my podcast. So there is a brand to create this name, Brigitte Brands. First of all, there is nobody going by Brigitte Brands. It's just perfect for me. It represents me. That's what I'm doing. It's a good wordplay, kind of.
Yeah, it
right?
works out perfectly. No, well, I would say with someone with such global experience in teaching and talking to people and working in different environments in different parts of the world, what cultural influences would you say you approach your brand strategy with?
Oh my God, this is a huge question. It's there's many ways to answer that. But when it comes to coaching, for example, executives, it's about your how do you reapproach, or how do you make sure you speak in the right manner? Because when you are an executive on a global level, you have a global reach. You need to understand diversity, but also you need to understand inclusion. So how do you speak in a Southeast Asian context? How do you speak in North America? Europe has different cultures. So I always say you need to do your homework before you hit the beach. That means you need to have empathy with another culture. You need to read into it. You need to learn about it. And most of all, when it comes to also branding, because when you're branding your company or your personality, and you want to appeal to someone or attract someone, right? So you need to read their mind. You need to know how they want to feel. You need to know their desires. You need to know their pain points. That means in order to know that, you need to listen. So listen, 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 listen. Preparation, preparation, preparation. And then understanding your craft. And as a brand identity strategist, I understand my craft. I listen and then bring both together.
That makes a lot of sense. We have 2 ears and one mouth, and building from the ground up, building that infrastructure first so that we can continue to grow.
Yeah. And also you as a doctor, you need to listen. You need to listen to your clients'
Yes,
body.
oftentimes with the first assessment is just talking, understanding the history of the person and their body before any examination. And quite often the history taking and the listening will tell you the story and let you know what you need to do to help heal that person.
Exactly. And I'm sure, you also go by the facts, by everything that you have in your hands about your
Diagnostics, yes.
facts are also important, but behind the facts, there is more. There is so much more, this intangibility, as you say, the story that influences numbers and facts. And so you need to have this holistic perspective here as well.
Yes, that's awesome. So, how do you see branding intersecting with personal relationships, especially when it comes to leadership and collaboration?
Yeah. So it comes back to the core. In order to know who you are, you also need to know where you want to go, what you want to become, right? It's nothing that static in its sense, but we are something that is living. We are a living thing. So in order to know who we want to partner with in professional life, but also in private life, we need to know where we want to go. We need to know what drives us, what people are the ones that fuel us, where we feel good, where we can grow. And most of us have a growth mindset, especially we entrepreneurs, right? Or when you climb the career ladder, you want to grow, you want to learn, you want to surround yourself with people that have similar mindsets, that are maybe a little further ahead of you or just right behind you. But they can also fuel you with things that you are lacking, but you want to learn. So you need an environment that lifts you up, that has your back when you don't know what is the next thing to do, when you are in the trenches, when you do not see the light, who have an understanding where you are as a professional, but also as a private person. And so I think it's about, okay, where do I want to go? And finding people that walk part. It would be beautiful, the whole journey, but usually it's, but want to walk part of the journey with you, want to go hand in hand with you. If it's one chapter, if it's two chapters, or even more so. But I think it's to know where I want to go. You have to have a vision. You have to have goals. And there's always this helper coming in. The helpers are the people that guide you for that life span of several years or whatever, how long the journey is or the chapter is. So they come into your life when you're open to receive. And conversely, I say, and I truly believe that you should let go of everything that does not do you well. If it's people that have been part of your life for a long time, but you feel like they rather drain me or this is not good for me anymore, and you feel drained, then maybe it's time to say goodbye.
That's a great point. A great tip for everyone.
Yeah.
It's putting yourself first as well in terms of how you feel.
Especially in relationships. I mean, it sounds like egocentric, right? Or very selfish to say, no, me first. Me first. I need to function first. I need to be in a good position. I need to feel good. I need to be in a good version of myself in order to contribute to others. Also, as a mother, as a partner, as a significant other, you need to make sure you are okay. You need to take the time for self-care. Because if you're not functioning, it's systemic. Others will feel that. It's like when you are in an airplane and you're not putting your mask on first in order to help others. If you do it otherwise, then you might not survive. And
Yes.
everyone else.
You hear
along-
it firsthand from a former flight attendant and Dr. Brigitte that it's
Yes.
important to put your oxygen mask on first on a flight and in life so that you can then be viable to help others around you.
Exactly. Yeah. So if we are disconnected from ourselves, from our why, and if we are not functioning well, especially when we are in burnout, right? Then we are not a good contributor to others. We cannot nurture others. So we first. And leadership starts with lead your ship first, lead yourself first, not others first. It's impossible. It's impossible.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dr. Brigitte, can you talk a little bit about a person in your life who has been positively impactful and instrumental in helping or guiding you with your business and your work?
Guiding me, it's not a particular person. I mean, there are particular persons around me, and each of them served their part and are still. And I have to say, yeah, let's say two versions of people groups. There's one who she was, and we are still in touch, my growth mindset coach. And then I have accountability partners who are also entrepreneurs. And we met 4 years ago, and we are supporting each others on our journey. And that's for sure. So these are the people that really have my back.
That's awesome.
Of course, family, but with family, they don't really know exactly your business or where you are at, especially now since I'm a global person. So my life is on a different level here, and not in a negative sense or something like, or a conceited sense, but it's just different
experiences that another person may have versus a family member.
Yeah, so you need to surround yourself with people who are going through or have gone through the same experience so that they can relate and be of support to you. Definitely. And then you have role models that you look up to. Role models, my first boss with the airline, who was the airline owner I flew for, he was a huge role model for me. And also my first boyfriend at that time. It's about thinking big, and it's becoming resilient with every rejection, with every ignorance, with everything that has happened you think like against you also. It catapults you forward, because in that is the greatest learning of all. So what I've learned is that, okay, you can be sorry, you can be sad, you can be, oh my God, this is the worst and this is the end of my life. But come on, girl, let's get up, pick yourself up, learn from it, and walk the talk. Move forward.
That's amazing. So what I'm hearing is you got to think big, be resilient, have a role model, have someone like a coach who can get in your brain and help you tease out your thoughts, and have an accountability partner.
Accountability partners, you need sounding boards, people that you bounce back ideas. And then if there is nothing out there, or if that is, usually that's not enough, but you need other impulses or channels where you can release stress, or where you can get new energy, or an exchange of that to new energy. For me, it is sports. I love to engage in physical activities in order to clear my head, having brain bubble baths like a walk, or just go out and do Muay Thai boxing or running or this or that, just, to refuel my reserves kind of thing,
Yeah,
And then
chance to think.
yeah. And then also gratitude journaling, that helps me a lot. It's reflecting on the day or preparing for the day. And especially when you're not quite sure, you are in kind of going through a transformation. I think it's good because it gives you clarity to bring down something, pen to paper. And you cannot be in a negative spirit if you're grateful.
Yes, that's so true.
A positive reinforcement, I think.
Yes. And so you deal with helping individuals, business owners step into their own potential. Give us another piece of advice to help them if they don't quite have the confidence in their career just yet.
Have a mentor, have someone, or growth mindset coach who helps you. Most of them at the beginning, it sounds like this imposter syndrome that I had. I mean, once you have it, you kind of deal with it, your life, because it's so ingrained in you. And especially, I was older, in my late 40s, when I said, okay, now I'm starting my own business. Then this is like, I feel I'm not good enough. Can I do it? Always playing small and not really allowing yourself. It's kind of giving yourself the permission to play big. Have it all. Why shouldn't I have it all? Who says that, right? So I think the trick is to turn these limiting beliefs into empowering beliefs. Because everything starts with mindset, not only branding, but also this empowerment. It's from limiting yourself. I'm not good enough. Yes, I am good enough. Because when you think that, you feel it. And when you feel it, you take a different action when you feel positive, empowered. And with the different actions, so what do you get? A positive result. Voila, we are there. So it's also something that you need to practice. Put yourself in front of the mirror, give yourself a high five and say, I can do it. Affirmations every day. And one day you're going to believe it. And one day it's going to happen.
Do it till it becomes part of you. Yeah, that's so important. And just, on the biological part of things, positive thought, affirmations really physically change chemicals in the brain. Hormones are released to help that continuum and make us feel good. And so it's not just us saying it, but our body is feeling it and pushing us through to get to that point of, oh, yes, I am amazing and I believe it and I feel it.
A lot of people say because they find excuses not to. Say, oh, I don't have time for that. Look at my schedule. No, the first thing you put into the schedule is me time,
Mhm.
self-care. Yeah, me time. Carve out dedicated time for yourself daily. It's a non-negotiable. And guess what? Doing that for this half an hour or 90 minutes will make you much faster at the end of the day. You are much quicker in achieving your goals because you come with full capacity. You're on 100% refill. You have the power.
Batteries on full charge. Yes, that's
Yes,
so
but
true.
a plane is not flying with zero tanks, right? So,
Yes. Or even half a tank of gas won't get you all the way. You gotta land somewhere. You need
yeah.
the
Yeah.
fuel. Yeah, so Dr. Bridget, looking ahead, how do you conceive the authentic branding evolving into the digital age where personal and professional identities often blend?
hmm This is also a really, really good question. I think you have to make sure that you're having the right balance of how you put yourself out there. Because what I have experienced sometimes that people are not really intentional of how much they share online. Is it just pure professional, or is it just purely, or is it too much of the personal content? There needs to be the right mixture. It's a question of how you want to present yourself. What is your goal with the content that you're putting out there? And it's not just about putting out a nice image. It's also something that value you're going to communicate. What is the content that you're putting out there? Does it create value? Is it something that the audience can take away something from it? So I think it also needs to have something that is educational, something that has a story. You need to have both of it in it. And it really also depends on the industry that you're in. It's something where you need to have the right balance. There is not one concept or one fix for everything. It really needs to be thought out, intentional, based on what you do and who the audience is. And I think most importantly is consistency in your messaging, staying true to who you are, owning it, owning your content, and the consistency across different platforms and over time.
Mm, okay.
And not too much of a change in voice, of a change in. That's why this is it, because a lot of people, they go with some kind of branding, whatever that is. They think about marketing strategies and the marketing funnel, but what are you communicating? Behind a logo, there is meaning. You infuse meaning into that. There is so many layers of meaning. What does this color mean? What does this name mean? There is always a narrative behind. And when this is thought through and where there is a strategic intent behind, then this also rings through to the audience.
Mm, that makes sense. Yes.
I hope I answered the question in a way that there's some
Yes,
value.
yes, you have to have, some direction in what you put out there content-wise and a goal in mind, especially
Yeah,
when you're thinking about your
yeah,
audience and your brand.
absolutely. Because not everything needs to be shared.
Yeah.
Yeah. What there should be intentional and meaningful. So you can also say, if you wanna put it that way, that your brand is your lighthouse. It's shining light on what you stand for, and that's it. Yeah, and you please, and this is, I think, a lot of people do when they are on social media and so what, and what so. It's trying to fit into every trend, and not every trend is for you. I just don't like that. People jumping on trends
Understandable.
and
Yeah. And
likes,
trends are fleeting. That's why it's called a trend. It's for a
shiny
specific.
object, and you follow. But is this you? Does this reflect your authentic you?
Mm,
And I think this maybe is another good maybe advice, if I may so. When it comes to authenticity, when it comes to putting yourself out there on social media, I love authenticity is when you are also vulnerable.
mm,
Then you are authentic. You're sharing something that others say, "Ha, I can see myself in her." And it's not about showing your wounds. It's about showing your scars.
mm.
Because when you show your scars, you bridged over. You did something to heal your wounds. So you come along with a solution to a problem. And that is what I love to share, or what I tell my clients to share. It's about how I did it, how my clients did it, how I help in arriving a solution to a certain problem. And that's what others want to see. They want to see solutions. They see themselves desiring into something, right? So this is something that opening up to a certain extent. Vulnerability, but what? It's showing your scars.
Yes, I love that term, vulnerability showing your flaws.
If you're showing your wounds, then everyone's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." And, you basically bring everyone down. What you want is to lift up and show, "Hey, listen, you can do it." And that's how I did it. Does it help?
Yeah, that's helpful advice, especially when, trying to understand what is appropriate to share on social media, depending on your brand and the content you want to put out there or to sell your story.
Yeah, and also sharing your accolades. Why not an endorsement or, "Hey, listen, I participated in a book collaboration." And coming from a place of love and gratitude, then this is never wrong. Because
Yeah,
others are like, "Oh, this is great. You
right,
did it. I'm
yeah.
so happy for you." And maybe it's also inspiring for others. Hey, she did it. Why can't I? So,
Yes, and it's another form of a positive affirmation. You're giving yourself gratitude, being thankful for, your accomplishments, and others are giving you your accolades as well. Wonderful. So, Dr.
yeah.
Bill, tell us what is new for you? Any new ventures in the next year coming up?
New for me, there's always something new since we're all changing, right?
Yes,
Uh, New for me, I have participated in a book collaboration that is new. The second one, it's
that,
called Daring Metamorphosis. It's also on my LinkedIn profile,
oh,
and I will also put the link in the. I will send you the link to the book.
thank
It's
you.
about my journey, and then I also want to write my own book.
Wonderful.
It should be a combination of my journey and a lot of branding lessons for entrepreneurs. And then not new for me, but it's one of the next steps that I want to achieve is doing branding retreats. It's really going abroad to a secluded place with a bunch of people, a small group, a small intimate group of people, maybe just women only or a diverse group of people, where we talk about creating a strong personal brand or elevating your presence, your executive presence as a leader, something like that.
Oh, sounds amazing. Well, Dr. Brigitte, thank you so much for giving us all those valuable tools for us business owners who are always thinking about our brands. A pleasure to have you here. And if someone's looking to find out more information about you, where can they find that?
People can find me under my website, brigittebrands.com. And I'm very busy on LinkedIn under my LinkedIn handle, Bojkowszky B. I suppose you put everything in the show notes, and that's where
Yes,
you can.
everything will be in the show notes. Yes.
I also have a checklist for people who want to start their entrepreneurial branding journey. It's a free download, so I'm also giving this to you.
Thank you so much. And thank you. That completes this episode of the podcast, Health, Wealth, and Relationships, Thriving in the Balancing Act. If you're looking for this episode and more episodes like this, please go to my website, mobilityhealthpt.com, or you can listen wherever you find your podcasts. See you next time.
That's all for this episode. May this discussion full of actionable tips and valuable advice guide you towards better possibilities in your personal and professional life. Continue your journey of unlocking your fullest potential by listening to more episodes of the podcast at mobilityhealthpt.com. Achieving stronger relationships, securing a thriving career, and embracing a healthier lifestyle may be daunting at first, but it is not impossible. You have the power to unleash the best version of you today. Until next time.